Hello, it's Rhea. Wherever you are, whatever time it is, I hope you are enjoying yourself. So a while back, I did a video unboxing my new digital tablet, which is a whyyyy Canvas Pro 16, and since then I haven't really done a video using it, and I figured it would be good for me to revisit that since it's been a while. So yeah, here we are. Today we're going to be drawing on my digital tablet some just people studies in Clip Studio Paint, and I hope you don't mind the sped up footage because per usual my sessions can be pretty long. This probably took maybe an hour and a half or so or less, I think. But yeah, and I don't know if y'all want that, or even if you do, I don't know if I have the time and energy to edit all that out right now, so I can either speed it up and have everything or slow it down and clip stuff out. And really and truly it's like a spectrum of those things, and in general, like whenever it comes to like filming and editing, I try to explore all levels of it, so you're gonna get a couple of different editing styles here and there. I'm also trying to figure out how to film on the tablet and like how to film me drawing it best, because compared to my iPad, this thing is huge, so it's a lot of me figuring out like what is best to include in, or like what's necessary to even include. Because I was like, do y'all need to see my hands using the express keys? Probably not. Like that's kind of just a part of the workflow. It doesn't really, and you can see everything that you need to know on the screen, so you can even see the brushes, so I tried to at least include that in case you were interested. But yeah, feedback goes a long way, so if you have any preferences on like video style, like on terms of length, or if you prefer seeing more real time as opposed to this being sped up, even though it's not even really that sped up. And again, as I always say, I draw slow, so even whenever I do speed things up, I feel like it doesn't, it's kind of still the same experience. And yeah, just like if this framing is okay. I'm still trying to like figure these things out as I go, more so I guess with like the tablet, since that's a newer thing as opposed to me just filming my art process in general. But yeah, I do think this is okay for now, but again, let me know. Also, I normally don't do digital studies, or I have less experience with doing digital studies because the way that I draw is not as smooth as it is whenever I do it traditionally, if that makes sense. It could just be because it's not like paper, and the way that paper feels, since I've been doing that a lot more in my life, it's a lot more natural to me. But I do want to try it more. I've done it on my iPad before, but again, this was another excuse for me to use this tablet and try to break it in a little bit more. And I also just want to up my digital art game, of course, since it should be treated the same as traditional art. Lately I've been talking about how I've wanted to improve at using alcohol markers more, because I feel like that's kind of my go-to whenever it comes to coloring traditionally. And so it's kind of the same with like digital art, right? I want to improve at how I do studies, or I want to improve at maybe other forms of digital art like pixel art or animation. There's always new things to learn, and I'm always like really excited to take those things on, even if it's just like a little bit at a time. So yeah, plus I love the way people's studies look digitally, and I also think that there's a lot of versatility in doing digital art, even if it's not as natural feeling as traditional art. I feel like the fact that you can use any color that you want, it's not limited to your supplies. You can, these days with all the technology and like the different textures of brushes that people create, there's all the different kinds of looks you can get. So yeah, you can just kind of go crazy with it. Like the amount you can do with a blank canvas is not limited at all, as opposed to relying on traditional art and whatever you have available with you. Another thing with digital art too is it really streamlines the process. I feel like that's probably one of the greatest benefits of it. It's the fact that, you know, you can flip your canvas and see how it looks on the other side, and you can actually like correct that in real time. And if you need to like erase something, it's really simple and straightforward without necessarily ruining your canvas. At the same time, you can duplicate things, like make multiple iterations of something if you want to try it out. Like it truly is like efficient in what it can do. That being said, I feel like both of them are kind of like special to me in a way, both traditional and digital art. I enjoy both of them, and I want to continue growing at both of them as well. So for studies, I did get all these off of Pinterest, of course. It's kind of like just the most common beneficial tool whenever looking for art studies. And I was wondering, okay, so first, I will put my Pinterest down below if you're interested in like finding references to draw, or like just, I guess, looking through my boards. I really need to organize those though. I feel like my Pinterest is a little bit outdated on how I have like my board set up and stuff like that, and sometimes even like the titles, I want to change things and make them a little bit more nice, but that's kind of like a project that is being put on the back burner for a very long time now. But the other thing that I was wondering is, in regards to that, if you guys would be interested in me putting up the photo of what I'm drawing while I'm drawing it, I guess. So like, say each time I start a new study, I just put the picture up, like flash it real quick, so that way you have a general idea of what I am drawing. At first I was kind of like, do I want to like show the comparison? Because what if it's bad and then you guys are like, what the heck, that doesn't even look like that. Then again, I feel like that kind of mentality is very weak energy. There's no point in trying to make sure that you do a study as perfect as possible. A lot of times you probably shouldn't even focus on trying to fully recreate a study. It's more of like seeing how it transfers over to your style, or seeing like a certain way that you want to draw it, or just testing your skills, I guess, you know? So yeah. Plus, if I just showed you like quickly, I'm sure you wouldn't like go back and deeply compare it. Y'all probably aren't even thinking that deep. I don't know why I'm like this. Anyways, because I'm using Clip Studio Paint, I'm still new to some of the brushes that I downloaded. Like a hot minute ago, whenever I was trying to use Clip Studio Paint on my iPad, I just remember downloading a ton of brushes all at once. So now I have like just a large amount of brushes that I have no idea how they work or what they do necessarily. You kind of just have to like try it out and get a feel for it. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm trying to like see which ones that I really align with and stuff like that. And so I think in this session I use maybe 2 pencils max, and again, because I'm showing like the tab of my tools on the screen, you can see which exact pencil I'm using. So I think for the first 2 sketches I use the soeerrrrr pencil. That's another thing. Some of these are like, I mean, that technically isn't like in Japanese, but some of them are like in Japanese, some of them are in Korean. I'm just like not entirely sure what's going on, but it's fine. Actually, a lot of the international brushes are like really poppin'. Like they're really nice to use, or they have really unique features that I don't really experience with Procreate on my iPad right now, because there's only a certain amount of brushes. Like, I think one of the main benefits of using Clip Studio Paint for me right now, at least, is the fact that I can access multiple brushes made by people, as opposed to Procreate, where I mean, you can definitely find like people on Twitter all the time are like, oh, here's my brushes for this, that, or whatever, and you can definitely download them or purchase them for a low price. So that's nice, but I like the way that it's streamlined in Clip Studio Paint, with how it's like you can sort of just like look through and see like this giant forum or like archive of things that people have uploaded. It just makes the process a little bit easier, and yeah, it's nice. So yes, I start out using the soeerrrrr pencil, and then after that I go on to use the hhhhhhh pencil. And the difference between the two is like the soeerrrrr one is a lot more textured, of course. The hhhhhhh pencil is kind of like your standard. It's like what I think of whenever I think of a brush with no texture to it. Like, it's just straightforward, here's a brush, and it works really nice. Again, all these work really nice, and I'm very glad that I pointed this out in my unboxing video, but basically just making sure that I did the pressure curve before I really got into drawing and using the tablet, because it made a huge difference, and I'm just so excited and blown away by all the brush options that I can use. I like using textured brushes, but I also like using regular brushes. It kind of just depends on like what I'm going for. There's a benefit, there's like pros and cons for both of them, and I feel like using the textured brushes are nice for me because it feels like that traditional pencil energy that I like whenever I sketch normally on like paper, but sometimes it doesn't really transfer over as well whenever I want to like lightly shade an area or something like that. Like for example, on this person that I'm drawing, the side of their face, their chin type area, I tried to like lightly shape it because it has texture. It almost looks like weird facial hair or something, so sorry that it turned out like that. This picture specifically, I'm sure you guys have probably seen it before, but it's like this person's like in like this biker type Hello Kitty top, and their hair is just so like iconically cute, and they have their little like headband, and like it's just so adorable, and I feel bad because I really didn't capture it the way I wanted to. I'm wondering if I should try to draw it again, but like traditionally, maybe try to use some like graphite pencils or things like that. I also want to do a video where I just like use solely pencils. Oftentimes growing up, whenever I would draw in like quote-unquote sketchbooks, I would mostly just use pencil. Like it took me a while to really break out of my shell and try using different elements like pen or like markers or things like that. It was mostly just pencil. Even for creating like actual illustrations too, it was like, nope, just pencil. And so it really is like a part of me. It's like really resonated with me in a way. So I think it'd be nice to just like revisit that and not really have to worry too much about like incorporating other elements, because there's so much that you can do with just pencil and a piece of paper. Real artists know that. To be honest, I feel like if you've ever been bored, you can really put that brain to use with just a pencil and some paper. But at the same time, I would also like to use like solely pen for a spread, because I was thinking like doing like a series of that, like an easy mode, a medium mode, and a hard mode of like only using pen to draw, because I do also enjoy using only pen or the way that it looks. I think every medium really just has its perks and like has its own specialties, and it kind of just depends on like what look you like to go for, but I definitely recommend like experimenting with it and kind of just like going outside your comfort zone every now and then. There's a lot to be discovered in that. Also, with these sketches in general, they really are just sketches. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about. I feel like, it's kind of like, this is a good representation of how my sketch sessions go. Like, normally, well, not necessarily normally, because I am filming this, and whenever I film, there's definitely a difference as opposed to whenever I'm not filming and I'm just drawing. I'm a lot less timid, and in this case too, especially since I was trying to figure out like if the view was okay and things like that, I kept like looking on the viewfinder every now and then to make sure that like I wasn't drawing too out of bounds or anything. But like it's normal, it's natural, maybe that's a good way to put it. Like this isn't my most perfect sketch session. I feel like this is a very accurate representation in the sense that some sketches not really a fan of, some of them I'm like, okay, wait, I was kind of popping off there. And I feel like that's a very accurate representation of what it feels like to just do a sketch page. It's like I know a lot of people really like how like a really aesthetic sketch page looks, but realistically, like sometimes you gotta ask yourself if it's worth going back to correct each and every little like part that you mess up or whatever. That's another benefit about sketching with solely a pen whenever you're doing it traditionally, but alas, I say this very often, you have to know when to pick your battles whenever it comes to I mean, I want to say art in general, but more specifically in this case, a sketch session or things like that. Whenever you're like doodling or drawing, you have to decide if you feel like it's worth it looking like super perfect, or if you're okay with just letting it be. And this is where that whole discussion of like what is a sketch or what isn't a sketch, what's a doodle or whatever, that's where that comes into play, because I know everybody has different perspectives on like how they decide to draw something or how they decide to like execute a drawing. And I feel like in my case, like during this session, I was like, okay, maybe I should fix this part, or like maybe I should, you know, do this or that. But then there's some things that I just fully neglected, and I was like, girl, whatever. Like, I'm just like, it's just a sketch session. I'm not gonna like go back to this. This is not gonna be like a portfolio piece or anything. It is okay if it's not like the Mona Lisa. So yeah, I feel like establishing that before or during your sketch session really helps. You can save time and stress. And again, I don't think it's like necessary to put this pressure on yourself whenever you're doing studies or just sketching in general for things to look perfect. A lot of people don't realize that like when you're watching people's sketch sessions or things like that, not all of them, depending on how they edit it, of course, not all of them are going to show every time they erase or things like that. So in general, whenever you're sketching, don't put pressure on yourself to go super quick or to, you know, do it super perfectly or things like that. Mostly just focus on the essence of sketching and things like that. Again, it really depends on like what you're trying to get from the session. In my case, I was like, hey, I literally just want to sketch. So yeah, and again, I felt like a lot of these sketches I'm not like super fond of. Oddly enough, I would say my favorite sketches are the first one that I did and the last one that I did. And another funny part about that too is they're completely different in style, but I'll get to that whenever we get around to it. In the meantime, I did want to talk about updates since the unboxing video on this tablet. And in general, using the tablet, I feel like I really enjoyed so far. There's definitely a difference from just using my iPad and how the pen feels to hold and use in regards to like the pressure sensitivity. Like this tablet pen, it feels a lot lighter and smoother than the Apple Pencil. And some of you have been asking me about the tablet and stuff, and I felt bad because I hadn't really used it a ton since buying it. And that is literally only because, one, I'm in class or I'm taking like a really intensive course right now, so that's taking up a lot of my time. And two, there's also that natural awkwardness of trying out not only a new tablet, but also like a newer slash less used program. So like that's always like an intimidating hurdle, and out of comfort and convenience I went to my iPad and thus Procreate because it's nice to draw in bed. I don't know, like it's also the fact that it's nice to use in other places too, and that's only because, you know, it's just like the iPad is smaller in size and it has very quick portability. There's no setup for it or anything like that. It's literally just your iPad and your pencil. So basically I'm still in the warming up phase of using this tablet, but I feel like it's definitely being broken into and I feel like I'm very pleased so far. But I wanted to use some of the comments on my unboxing video to sort of like open the floor for discussion, or I guess just give you guys my thoughts and or opinions. So starting off, I don't really deal with any like errors or like weird glitches that have happened of me using it so far. I do have like a super computer desktop. Yeah, like my desktop is amazing. It was expensive, but I've been using it for like since 2021, I believe, and it runs everything perfectly. And I have like a giant monitor setup as well, as opposed to like a small laptop or something, so that's definitely a benefit. But yeah, using it is very straightforward for me. I literally, like, the way that I turned it on at the beginning and just started drawing, that's exactly how it is. It works perfectly fine in that aspect. Sometimes I will, like, have to unplug it because my PC still counts the tablet as like a second screen even whenever the tablet's off. So some windows will be like hiding or locked on the tablet screen where I can't access them. So I'll either have to turn on the tablet and then find the windows on the tablet and then drag them back onto my monitor screen, or I have to just unplug the tablet and hope that the lost windows just float back up to my main monitor screen. And it's likely something to do with my Microsoft Windows settings rather than like the whyyyy tablet specifically. So yeah, that's like probably the most that I could really complain about, if you could even count it as a complaint. I feel like at most the only other gripe that I could think of would be like sometimes my wrist or hand feels weird or like noticeably pressured after a while drawing, which I haven't felt before, but I do know it's like a very common thing for artists to get wrist pains, especially if like you draw excessively or you draw very often, which I try to do. I feel like me feeling that sort of discomfort right now is likely due to using a bigger tablet because, again, this thing is huge compared to my iPad, which is really cool and awesome, but it takes a bit to like get used to if this is your first time dealing with a big screen. And I even have to like move it from one side of my desk to like the other side depending on when I'm using it or not using it, and it still takes up a pretty noticeable amount of space. So yeah, as it stands, I can't imagine having an even larger size screen, like a 22-inch or something, and of course my very computer screen is about like 26 inches or something like that, and all that space to draw, to me personally, would feel like excessive for the most part. And another thing is, as y'all may know if you've seen any of my other digital drawing videos, I'm usually zoomed out more than the average person whenever I draw digitally, and it creates like a more streamlined view for me because I just feel like I'm some kind of hawk, I guess, I don't know. So that being said, I don't need a huge canvas, but I can see like the benefits of having like a bigger space because, you know, like say if you are someone that's only using a laptop, if you have like a wide canvas like this, then you can have multiple tabs open of things, like say you have like a reference on the side or you have like a video on the side. I definitely could see like that being a benefit as well. But yeah, so overall, you know, a couple months in and with me using this maybe a few times a week, I'd say I'm pretty pleased, like very much so. I'm actually using it to help with like an exciting art project that I've finally started on, and yeah, I'm really excited for that, and it's been really nice to use this tablet in the process and get more like accustomed to using Clip Studio Paint. So I'm very excited for, you know, the journey that I will be going on with this precious tablet. But as always, let me know if you guys have any more questions about the tablet that I haven't answered, and I will do my best to help. And as I said in my review video, like definitely do your research on other people's takes, so go to like the company's website, price compare, check with competitors. Any large purchase, like you want to think critically about why you need it, how it can help you specifically compared to like other options, what you're willing to compromise on versus like something you genuinely like you're putting your foot down on, like your needs, and also like what your future would be looking like using said product, you know, just all good things to think about when making a large purchase, or even outside of it being like a purchase, rather more of just like a tool that you want to use. Yeah, you just want to make sure that like what you're getting is specific towards your needs and that it can help benefit you in a substantial way. And on that note, to pivot the conversation, or I guess it's not, is it really a conversation if it's just me talking? I mean, you could be talking, but I can't hear you. I'm kidding. I don't know what's with me today. I don't know why I have such weird energy. But no, I wanted to point out that for some odd reason, whenever I was filming, it just like every now and then, this has been happening lately, where like one of my video files randomly gets corrupted and like I can't like bring it back or something. It's like I'll be done filming or whatever, or it'll just like cut up. I don't know, but the file is instead of it being like a MP4 file, it just says like a DAT file, and I've been looking into like seeing if I can convert whatever like data was on that file over to an MP4 file and I can still use it, but I haven't really found much luck in that. So yeah, I just unfortunately have these moments where it'll just cut out a whole part of me drawing and I'm like, what the heck? So yeah, unfortunately that happens here with like me sketching these two. It's like, I guess I'm assuming they're like a couple or something, where they have like this sort of like, you know, slightly intimate energy because they're like, the girl's like laying her head on this guy's shoulder or something like that. Anyways, that whenever I get to like the actual good part of me like doing the details, it just cuts off. And then we get into like the last drawing as well, where it's like the drawing that I do like, it already is started pretty much, and I'm like, what the heck? Why did that happen? I don't know what's going on. It's also gonna happen for one of my future videos. I filmed another iPad drawing session of my OCs, and it happened there too. I was so salty. I was like, dude, like, genuinely why? I'm not good at dealing with like technology messing up. It really gets under my skin because it feels like something that was meant to like help you making your job like 10 times more difficult. It just starts to really make me salty. So, but alas, I mean, I'm sure it's fine if there's like a little bit of footage cut out every now and then, but I would prefer to find a way that I can prevent that from happening. I'm not sure if it's like it might be happening whenever the batteries get low, because either that or like whenever my video like caps or something like that, because this current camera that I've had since like 2000, I was about to say 2008, girl, what the? No, 2018 was when I first got my DSLR camera, and I've used it all this time since, and it's always worked perfectly fine. This issue's only started, I want to say, within the past month or so, but in general, whenever I film on this camera, it can only film up to 30 minutes, so I will have to like start playing it again if it caps out at 30 minutes, because it'll just shut off and I'll be like, oh. But usually whenever it shuts off, like, I notice because it makes a sound, like it makes a camera shutter sound when it turns off, and so I just start it again and I film another one. But I'm wondering if this is more of an issue on terms of changing the batteries, because, you know, with my longer sketch sessions, I'm likely gonna have to change my camera battery at some point. So I don't know if that's like, for some odd reason, causing an error, but I don't know. I'll keep an eye out. Let me know if you guys have any like suggestions for that, but I'll just figure things out. It doesn't happen often, it's just, again, it can be really inconvenient. Like if it cuts out a whole chunk of a drawing that I do like someday, I'm gonna be very devastated. Anyways, I just wanted to like, I guess, I don't know, check in with all of y'all and see how things are going. It's been a while since I've just been able to chat and chill. So I guess since this is gonna be kind of like a draw with me video, it would be kind of nice, you know, to talk about how things have been. I don't know, should I ask you, like, how are you? Like, how are you doing? Good? Okay. Decent? Okay. Surviving, I see. Dead inside? Yeah, a little bit. Questioning humanity? Yeah, feeling that. A little tired, but okay. Yeah, that's a mood. Okay, so it sounds like no, but if you guys are doing good, then that's great. I would be really happy. And if you're just kind of here, then that is also very much me right now. So I will send you positive energies. I feel like for me, there's just been like a whole lot of like everything and yet nothing at the same time, if that makes sense. That's just kind of how I'm feeling. Lately, let's see, I bought some daffodils because I have been kind of on like this trend of me, well, last year I kind of had this habit of buying myself flowers, kind of like a little pick-me-up, you know, just to like make things feel a little bit better in my visual surroundings. And so I wanted to keep that energy this year, but I also wanted to challenge myself. So since I do like drawing flowers in general, and it's something that I want to get better at, because it feels like I mostly spend my time focusing on drawing people, not necessarily like other elements, so like visual elements like flowers or like even backgrounds and stuff. So I think that'd be a cool like win-win situation. I get pretty flowers and I get to draw them. So in my sketchbook, I've started like this series of me like drawing whatever flowers I purchased and just kind of like drawing them from different angles and getting a feel for how they look and like how they're built, I guess, and just like little notes about how they smell or my personal opinion. And so that's been kind of nice. But unfortunately, the flowers that I got this time around, this is the first time that I haven't been able to draw the flowers before they perish. I bought these flowers on Sunday and they immediately died right after, and I was like, okay, so that's where my mental's at. I don't know if it's just like, it's most likely my environment, because I keep my room generally pretty dark and I don't let in like a ton of sunlight, and even then if I did, I'm on like the second floor, so A lot of the times I'll be like toasted alive whenever my family turns on the heat, so it tends to make my room dry as well, so that could be like wearing out the flowers. But usually they last for a while. I'm not sure, I've never had daffodils before, and like they're so freaking pretty, and they smelled absolutely beautiful. So again, I'm just like looking at them in my corner right now, just looking absolutely sad and pathetic, and I feel so bad for them. So I just really wish for the day that I can either have a garden or at least like obtain a bunch of cute plants and stuff. I don't really see myself as like a huge botanical person, but I do feel like there's this natural attachment to nature that just heals me inside a little bit, so that's one thing. A little bit chaotic, but I guess some other stuff. I'm still in class or I'm taking a design course. For some of you who don't know me, I am a graphic designer as a full-time job just to get the bills done, but right now as I am unemployed, I wanted to sort of strengthen my skills, so I've been taking a course and learning a lot, definitely doing a lot. And it's very intensive, but I'm also kind of like very grateful for it at the same time, because I know I couldn't push myself to do that on my own because I love art so much. If I have free time, I'm just going to draw. So yeah, and then aside from class, I've been playing Undertale, which I've never played before because whenever I watched Dan and Phil play it on YouTube like several years back, I was like, well, I already watched them play it, so why do I need to play it? But it's been really awesome playing it so far. I think I'm just before the part where I have to fight Undyne? Miss Fish Lady, I think? Yeah. So that's gonna be interesting because I'm playing it on my Switch and I already kind of feel like a little bit of regret because I feel like if I was playing this on my PC, I could move a little bit quicker or more naturally as opposed to like using the Switch Joy-Cons, but alas, we'll see how far I can get. It's a really nice game. Even by watching like Dan and Phil's videos of them playing it, it really resonated with me as a game and has an amazing soundtrack. I always listen to playlists that have like the Undertale soundtrack on it or things like that because it's just so, I don't know, very nice vibes overall. And again, playing it right now, I'm glad that I did decide to play it because it's great, even though it's like years later whenever it's not probably as popular, but it's okay. What else? I feel like I've been in a pretty like sad mood, like a kind of dull melancholy mood lately for like the past couple of weeks, and I was hoping that it would kind of recover, and I do feel like it's helped. Like so far this week, you know, it's Tuesday while I'm doing this voiceover, so things have been like better. In fact, the past 2 days have been like kind of nice, so I'm like shook at that. I'm like, oh, I'm one of those people where it's like if good things happen, I get a little bit suspicious because I'm not used to it. That came out darker than I meant to do, so sorry. I've also been consuming lots of media per usual. I wanted to watch some anime that I haven't seen before, so lately I started watching Saiki K and Nana, and it's been a really interesting time for both of those. I've mostly been obsessed with Saiki K because it's just so freaking funny and I enjoy anime kind of like that. Oh, I just realized we're like kind of about to wrap up soon. Okay. Basically, I really like the last sketch, as I said before, but I just think it's funny that the last sketch looks completely different from the first sketch in style. And I just think that's funny because, I mean, that's kind of just how I draw. I'm a little bit all over the place in terms of style, especially lately. You can really see the spectrum of like anime to like realistic style that I kind of go in between. Also, drawing the visual style of Takora was very fun. I'd love to do it again. I added some random stuff in, like the band-aids and the Dazai bandages, but yeah, it was kind of cool. But overall, I think I had a fun sketch session. I feel like it's just nice to doodle sometimes, so definitely recommend it for y'all as well. Hopefully you were able to like draw along or relax per usual, but yeah, I'm just trying to play catch up and get in a comfortable spot with posting videos again, if not on social media in general. But yeah, I'm mostly importantly just trying to stay on track with like my art, because yeah, my projects and my growth and ambitions, to have these things like come together, I don't know where it's going or what the future's gonna look like, and that's kind of scary, but I feel like I just have to be true to myself and pursue only what I feel like is truly worth living for, and to me, like, that's just art and making art. So I have a lot of things planned and practicing and figuring things out, so stay tuned. Thank you guys for being so kind and calm and like chill and allowing for me to build this space where we can just kind of talk about creativity and enjoying art together. I think it's a very fun time and it means a lot to me, so yeah, but I'm pretty much wrapping up this thread, so thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed your time here today, please feel free to leave a like. If you're interested to see more of my content, you're going to check out my other videos and subscribe. For reference, if you're new, I am Rhea or Etheria, and I like making art and art-related content on my channel. While I post weekly videos, if you'd like more timely updates, you can always check out my other social media linked in the description and also at the end of the video. Twitter is for yapping, Instagram is for slice of life and official posts, and Threads is for posting secretive art that no one will see. Till next time, once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I wish you a nice rest of your day and or week. Take care.